Hi you guys, welcome back. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year. Happy holidays, just all holidays in general, but also Happy New Year. I am filming this in 2025. This won't be the first video going out in 2025, but it's the first one filmed in 2025, so that's exciting. And there's a lot to think about for this new year. I don't think I'm gonna do a reflection and goals and whatnot that a lot of creators do at this time. In the past, I've done that, but I have a lot that's changing in this coming year. Our living situation may change, and my job is changing, and just, I don't know. It's made me think a lot about what do I really want in the new year. And as you guys know, like I mentioned in my last video, I am transitioning between jobs, and so I have 3 weeks of just being at home and time off of work, which has been super nice, but it's made me reflect a lot about my plant collection. If you couldn't tell in my last video, I have been in a chopping mood. Chop and prop, let's start over. These plants aren't looking like I really like them to look. And upon further reflection, I've come to realize that maybe it's time to do a plant audit. I have done a plant audit last year, and I actually got rid of a handful of plants last year. I gave them away to friends and family. It was so smart of me to do so because I had so many extra plants that I just didn't need or even want. But now I think it's come time to visit the plants that I have that didn't get cut during that audit and just decide I might like it, but do I need it in my space, in my collection? I say that too because Dino and I are just house hunting. We've just been keeping our eye out to see what's to come because we have our apartment lease until July. So we've just been thinking a lot about like what is next for that. I was thinking we have this apartment, you guys, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. It is less than 1,000 square feet. I know it might not be easy to tell in our videos, but we have just under 1,000 square feet. And to have 300 plants in that space is a lot. I think paring it down has actually helped a lot. Like I do have a lot of space to walk again. Everything kind of has a spot. But it made me think about how maybe at this time in life, it's okay and it would be a good idea to pare down the collection, because then when we get a house, I will have more space that I can disperse and decorate with these plants a little bit more intentionally. And again, I'll have to think through which plants do I even want to move and deal with that, you know? So I don't know. I just think it's a good idea to really reflect on the space that we have, do a little bit of decluttering, and really think about if there's a little bit of overconsumption going on here. And let's be honest, a lot of the plant community is all about overconsumption. We all love our jungles, and it's more. I love plants, but I will say mentally, I'm in a different place than I was when I really dove into collecting, which was in 2019 and 2020. I am not truthfully as obsessive over getting all these varieties and collecting every single variety in this one genus or species. I used to be, and that's how I really quickly accumulated plants, but now it's calmed down quite a bit, and I think I'm ready to be more intentional. And it's gonna be hard because there are some plants that I have that I like and I don't really want to get rid of, but I just don't have the best way to have a space for them and have them grow to their full potential. Does that make sense? I see some of these other creators who have these beautiful plant collections, and their plants are progressing. They're getting bigger as they grow. They're sizing up leaves. They're nice, full, healthy looking plants. And then I look at my collection and I've got a handful of scraggly plants and plants that, as we saw in my last video, aren't sizing up. I know that's it has to do with like the support in the moss pole. But if I'm not even gonna take the time of day to put them on a moss pole and they're just gonna like scraggly go up a bamboo stick, do you really think that it matters that much to me? It should. And maybe some of them I will genuinely actually put them on a support. But I was just thinking a lot about all that and where I want my plant collection to be in the next year, and trying to make it a little easier on myself too. So we're gonna walk around today. I got pen and paper. We're gonna do it old fashioned and just take note and do a little bit of an audit. What I like, what I don't like. And honestly, what maybe I don't really care for at the moment that I can get when I have more space and have maybe a better routine. I don't know. So yeah, let's go do an audit. Just a little side note, you guys know what we did for New Year's Eve. Dino and I stayed in and we played video games because that's what we like to do now, and had a nice dinner. And then our power went out because our city had a power outage, which was not great. It went out twice in the evening and it came back on at like 11:30 p.m. and then it was midnight for us, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then we just kind of went to bed. So that was our New Year's Eve. I hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve. But I'm the type that likes to stay in on New Year's, so I had a great time. I also need to do an audit for my crystal collection so bad, like so bad. Literally same thing. Those are always during live sales. I feel like I gotta comment first so that I can get the crystal. And when I first got into collecting crystals, I mean, it's shiny, pretty things. Like, it was so easy to just be like, give me that one, I want that one, I want that one. And now I have so many that some of them I don't even remember what they're called. I know most of them, but like, again, I'm getting sick of the overconsumption, you guys. But yeah, I'm not gonna do a crystal audit in this video, obviously, but I will have to do that next. Also, side note, you guys, look what came in today. This is the floor grow light for the big Monstera Tycon. So I don't think I'm gonna have time to set it up today and film that, but that'll be coming soon. I'm super excited. But yeah, I actually finally ordered it. I know I talk about it all the time, but I actually ordered it. All right, you guys. The first one is gonna be kind of a tough one, but I think I need to just be real with myself. God, do I have any empty pages? Ta/sell. Number 1, my Gloriosum. This is her. This one is one that is so hard for me. So can you guys see 3 plants in this pot? I talked a lot about this in my last video. The reason this is so sad for me is because look at the condition it's in. Look at this. Do you guys remember? I have so many beautiful pictures and videos of my Gloriosum near the balcony door window, and it was huge. It was huge. It was a bush. It was thriving. Leaves were bigger than my head. It was amazing. But now it's just never been the same ever since I moved it. While I love this, and I do feel like I could chop it and bring it back and repot it, give it TLC. In our little apartment, I don't have much space for a bunch of crawling pots. It's been a hard thing for me to accept, but all of my crawling plants at one point or another either get infested with spider mites or they get thrown into dark areas and they just don't do well. And then they become one-leaf wonders. And I just have to accept it. When we get a house, I will be getting another Gloriosum, if not one that is a big statement one already. I purchased this as one pot that had 3 plants in it, and it was huge and it was super full. I already did that, But our little apartment, I don't think I have the space for this anymore, and it is not great to walk past every day and see this. So this one I think does have spider mites. So this one will be for free for somebody, or I'll toss it. I don't know. It really depends on my time and effort level for when I purge these plants. So number 1, Gloriosum. Next up, I already know for a fact I would like to sell or give away these stunning Jose Bono cuttings that are now little baby plants that I rooted. They are actually so stunning. This is one too where it's hard for me. I have like a hoarder mentality that I don't want to get rid of it because they came from my mother plant, and my mother plant has, if you guys remember, it got knocked over and I had to propagate it. But you know how many Jose Bonos I have now because of that? And I gave some away in my last audit. But look how stunning and beautiful she is. This is 1. And then we have number 2, not as pretty, but a little bit of half moon action. My Jose, my mother plant, had a lot of half moons. So that is the variegation pattern, but still beautiful. Just a great healthy Jose. We got a couple dying leaves, but I actually have also a huge plant, a huge pot of Jose Bono that has 3 of them in the pot. So do I need also the little ones? Probably not. So I will be giving away both those Joses. These next ones really do pain me because I always say I'm not going to give them away or give up on them. But I think maybe 2025 will be the year that I stop hoarding stumps. I need plants, you guys. I need plants. I hate saying that because my last video I was like, I never give up on these, and I always say that. But in the reality of things, I don't love walking around and then just having a bunch of stumps everywhere. That doesn't bring me joy. And as we know, just because of life, I stopped buying anthurium plants because I was like, if I can't keep up on watering, like they just don't do well, it's tough. And so I think that is also another situation that when we live somewhere new, when I am situated to see how life is going, then we'll see if I reintroduce anthuriums again. Like if I ever get a grow tent, you guys, I could never have the space here, but if I ever had a grow tent, then I would go back and consider anthurium collecting again. But again, there's ways to do it slowly over time, and I just need to stop thinking like, I gotta save this for that moment when like a leaf may or may not come back, and then I'll maybe take care of it well to where it can grow beautiful. Like, it's just not healthy anymore. So this is gonna go for all the other stumps, but I'm just gonna say stumps. I should actually probably say anthurium stumps because philodendron stumps come back really quick. So if I like love it, I'll keep it. But yeah, anthurium stumps are a no-go for 2025. The Hoya shepherdii cuttings, if they are alive, I'm actually going to pot all of them together into one Hoya shepherdii, and I am keeping that. I am confident in my Hoyas right now because of life, and I know I have other shepherdii cuttings in one of my cabinets in the plant room, so those are ones that I will actually keep and pot together. My seedlings, these are my anthurium baby seedlings. I think what I will do, because they are, I mean, this has 3 plants, this one has 3 plants successfully, I will pot these up and then I'll see if I can grow them to be a little happy, healthy. And then I don't need 6 of them. So once I maybe get them into little black pots, I think I might give them away or sell them or something. Otherwise, the other option is that I could just see online if anybody wants little babies for cheap or free, because I propagated these from my mother plant and my mother plant is still alive. So again, do I need 6 seedlings if I have my mother plant? I don't know, but I will probably keep at least 1 seedling because I am proud of it, because that is the first time I ever successfully pollinated an anthurium, got seeds, sprouted the seeds, and then got plants from them. So I will definitely keep one of them, but I think the rest of them I need to give away. Up next, we have a philodendron yuppie. This one I really should not have purchased. As much as I try and tell myself, oh, the variegation will come back. I mean, it has put out sport variegation here and there, but it's sport variegation. It's normally not super stable. I mean, I can literally see it on this leaf, the second to last latest leaf, but the latest leaf has nothing. And I already have a philodendron yuppie. It's tall, but it's really leggy, and I don't need 2. It just takes up space. The question is, though, do I keep this little one or do I keep the tall leggy one? The tall leggy one is on a bamboo stake. It's not on a moss pole or anything, so it's just literally kind of similar type of leaves. And I already mentioned that I'll potentially cut it back. So I really can't decide if I'll cut that back or if I'll take this healthy baby, put it on a pole, and just start fresh. You know what I mean? I might end up just doing that because I think I like how it looks better than chopping my scraggly one back. And in the meantime, it can stay in the cabinet. I'll gain a little bit of real estate where I'm trying to fit big plants. But yeah, so definitely a philodendron yuppie, but I haven't decided, big one or little one. I might keep the little one and get rid of the big one. But regardless, I'm gonna put philodendron yuppie on the list. You guys, this anthurium is so freaking lucky that it put a new leaf out before I did my audit, because this was a stump. Although you guys can see there is a healthy green stem, so there's a little bit more potential there. But it did put out a new baby leaf. I am going to keep this one, but the moment any leaves die and it's a stump again, it's being thrown out. You survived this round. Last but not least in here, I'm not gonna take them out. I am gonna keep this Hoya because she's a beaut and I do actually love her. I think I'm going to keep this anthurium as of this first round of an audit. It might not make the second one just because this is one of my anthuriums that's doing okay. It's fine, but it's doing okay. So I'm gonna leave this one alone. My philodendron sodoroi I am also going to keep, but I'm going to take it out of the cabinet and put it on a pole. And I'm going to keep my anthurium warocqueanum Esmeralda, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna keep her, but she's only got 1 leaf, so we will see. So I'm gonna leave those there because they seem to be doing okay. Again, but the sodoroi I'm gonna put on a real moss pole because I wanna see those leaves size up. And yeah. All right, you guys, so far so good. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants on the get rid of list. Not so bad. Rainbows are coming in now. I love it. All right, up next, here's my beautiful Jose that I was just mentioning had 3 plants in it. It is a monster. I'm keeping her because I actually love her, and hopefully I'll have more space that I can like really grow it to its potential. On the other hand, I have my Florida red stem. That is a prop pot. So there's like 4 plants in that pot that I had grown and rooted cuttings from my mother plant, which is on that 6-foot moss pole. You know what, you guys? I'm kind of over the leaf shape of the Florida green, the Florida ghost. The only one that I can't see myself getting rid of right now is the Florida beauty because it's beautiful, but this plant doesn't do it for me. And the Florida ghost, it comes out white and it's beautiful and I like that, but then it turns to green and looks like all the rest of them. So I'm gonna put those on the list. Florida Green, Florida Ghost, all varieties. I say all varieties because I have the regular Florida Ghost and then I have the Florida Ghost Mint, and it was, I will say, it was minty when I first got it. It was very minty and it would stay minty. But then as time goes on, the leaf color fades and it's just, I don't know. I think those plants and the leaf shapes, I loved them when I was first collecting and getting into it, because they were actually, and this is why it's hard for me to let it go, but they were some of the first plants that I ever got. And a Florida Ghost was like rare to me. That was a rare plant at the time. That's not the case anymore. And again, I don't know. It's just, it's not doing it for me enough to want to make space and use moss pools and keep it. So Florida Green, red stem, and then my Florida Ghost and my Florida Ghost Mint are going. I will keep my Florida Beauties. And yes, sadly that means my 6-foot moss pole Florida Green is going as well. I don't like these moss poles. I don't like them anymore. I don't like how they look. I don't like how they look. The black mesh just stands out so much. I fully love the clear moss poles. They look so much nicer and they're just not nearly as distracting. And then as a close second, I don't hate the coco coir poles, and I have had plants adhere to them. So yeah, so a lot of plants that are on these kind of moss poles, you guys, I don't know. I don't see myself keeping. I also could technically just unpot all of them from those moss poles, sell the moss poles themselves online, and then the plants can be sold separately. I haven't decided how I'll do that yet, but just know as we go through these plants, you guys will see that. All right, moving on over. This guy's going. This is my Philodendron Billy. This is a little plant that I propagated from my big plant because guess what? I didn't like how the big one was looking. It was growing wonky, so I cut it all the way back and then propagated it into a new little plant. Yay! And now it's growing wonky again. And this plant is just a wonky grower. I don't think I want it right now. I think, again, when I have more space, I do love like a really big grown out Philodendron Billy, but they're always going to grow wonky in my apartment. I think that's gonna be the case. So I love it. I love people who can keep them looking very, very nice, but I don't like it enough to be taking up space, and I don't like how it's growing. Look at it. Look at it. We know I got that Philodendron Billy variegata, the variegated one, to grow. That will be my one Billy, and that one I can always get another one. So Philodendron Billy. My Anthurium veitchii I am keeping. I think I will die with this plant because it is my first ever Anthurium, I think. If not, might be top 3 Anthuriums, first 3. And this thing I absolutely love. It has put out variegation at one point, which was crazy. And I love the way this one grows. This one is meant to grow the way it is, whereas the Billy is not. But this one, even just simply getting the Billy off of this shelf, I think will give my veitchii some space to grow and be happy. So yeah, so I'm keeping the veitchii. Up next, this Philodendron, is it a Philodendron or is it an epipremnum? Amplissimum silver. She's going. Yeah, can you tell it's just kind of tucked back here? It does have a light and it does grow, but I haven't even cared to repot it, and it's in like the worst soil ever from Home Depot. And honestly, the new leaves aren't as silvery as the old leaves, like as they should be. And I just doesn't do it for me anymore. I was excited when I did get it, but it was never a wish lister for me. So it's gonna go. All right, and then we have my Epipremnum marble, obviously keeping. That is one that I want to have the space to have it be displayed. So it's kind of why we're doing this audit. Then we've got my Hoya Wilbur Graves. I don't remember which variety, but it's throwing out a lot of variegation right now. I am keeping her because literally the leaves are so long. I've actually trimmed it back from the ground and I love it. And you guys probably won't see me getting rid of many Hoyas in this audit. So keeping her. Now I think I'm gonna shift you guys and we're gonna go through this shelf because there's some I'm gonna get rid of. We're gonna go top to bottom. I have a Hoya Polyanera up top. You can kind of see. She's beautiful, she's lush, we're keeping her. Same with my Pothos, the Mandula. Those are staying where they're at. Next up here, I have a Hoya, oh, it starts with a B, Billabata or something like that. I don't know. I'm keeping it, but I want it to have more space. It's really tucked into this like corner madness in there. You can't even see it. And I'm not gonna put my pen and paper down to like dig it out or anything. However, do you guys see this guy? It has been nonstop yellowing and dropping leaves, but I checked and it has had water. It's been fine. I did cut it because it was wrapped around my Florida green right here. I think it could potentially have root mealies because there's no sign of spider mites. There's not really many other explanations to why it would be acting that way, just because I know that it's being taken care of. So I think I'm gonna throw that one away, unfortunately. That is my Hoya Crassiopetalata. You guys know the one I'm talking about, Crassiopetalata something. I'll put it on the screen. I have other Hoyas that I love and I just don't love this one enough. So we're putting her on the list. I think I'm gonna actually put it down somewhere else. I'm going to keep the Hoya Croniana Splash. This is not the super splash, just a regular splash. It's beautiful. It has never let me down. And then right here I have this Philodendron Atabapoense. I actually really love it and I love the size. I know that if I put it on a pole, it will grow and get big and beautiful. Part of me wishes it would just stay the size that it is, but I really love the color of the leaves. It kind of reminds me of the Philodendron Silver Sword, where no matter what, you're gonna be getting the silver foliage, which I love. It's not growing wonky like my Billy and stuff, so I think that's also a big plus. So as of this first audit, I'm going to keep it. We do have my variegated Philodendron Burley Marks. I actually am going to keep this. You guys might call me crazy, but I really actually like it. This is crazy because I propagated one variegated piece from a reverted plant and happened to get a new variegated plant. It's got stunning variegation. These plants are kind of unpredictable and variegation can be unstable. That's why I feel like you don't see them for sale much anymore. But this one, it has become such a monster. These are like bushes, you guys. So as of right now, the size is manageable. I don't have to put this on a moss pole, you know, right now. So I think I'm going to actually keep it, but it needs some TLC. And then back there we have a Ficus shiveriana that I had gotten as a free gift. She's beautiful, she's small, I love her, we're keeping her. And then my Anthurium, God, what's the one that has a corkscrew flower in flow? What is your name? Wendlingrii. I love this thing, but I think it definitely needs some water. She's a little dry, but I love this plant. I think I really wanna give my strappy plants space to like full on grow. All right, it's easier for these lower shelf ones. We have a Hoya Sunrise. Not really sunrising anymore. It was so sunrisey on my grow frame, so I'm gonna keep it, but I gotta figure something out because I want to sun stress it. Same with my Dischidia watermelon. Keeping the Hoyas I recently got, of course. We do have a Florida Beauty here. She was a prop, although looks like no variegation and more of the lime green. Oh wait, no, maybe it's not a prop. No, this one, you guys, again, I didn't need it because I already have one, but I purchased it from like a second chance plant sale or something. It has one all white leaf back there, a beautiful leaf, but it does have some non-variegated leaves, some variegated leaves. Honestly, I have a Florida Beauty down here that I propped from my mother plant with stunning variegation. I don't know, we'll see. I don't need multiple Florida Beauties, but it is small right now, so we'll see. Then we have a Hoya, is that a Billabata or Bertonier? I think it's a Bertonier, and it needs some TLC, but I'm going to keep it for now because I really like it. I like how it's like on this little riser with the pot. So not a whole lot's gonna change in this shelf. Just some, again, TLC, and then I have to think about that Florida Beauty. I'll probably write on my list Florida Beauty of some sort. But yeah, like this one is really pretty. It is a prop from my mother plant, and my mother plant has been throwing out all lime green leaves. So that's kind of why I think I might keep this one, because it's sort of my backup, to be honest. Then we have this Anthurium, I want to say Falcatum. It's got spider mites. It is sad, and let's move this out of the way. I don't think it's the time for this plant right now. It was stunning and beautiful, but the moment that this plant got spider mites, it's just always been a one leaf wonder and yellowing and just not great. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one. Yeah, Anthurium falcatum. That'll be one, again, if I go back to Anthuriums in the future, I can pick up. And then we have a beautiful Epipremnum elbow back there. It just got watered not long ago, but it had a lot of drought, so it needs another watering. But I have so many Epipremnum elbow, and I can always take more cuttings. So that one I'm going to definitely give away. I might have had spider mites at one point, so I'm going to probably do a little check through, and then if it does, I'll just give it away for free to anyone that would want it. But yeah, she was really cute though. I have really good genetics for all my Epipremnum elbows. They have such good variegation. We've got a Monstera laniata, something like that. I'm keeping her. I chopped my mother plant all the way back, so I'm gonna keep her. And then we got a snake plant back there. I think that's my curly snake plant that I'm going to keep. This one though, I don't know. My strawberry shake mother plant, I don't know if I even love it either. This one has had such good potential for variegation. I know it might not seem based on these bottom leaves, but it's actually had better variegation than the mother plant. I think it just needs to have the actual attention and go on a real pole. And in here, there are two plants in the pot, although it looks like the other plant is totally reverted. So I will need to think on this. I do have another strawberry shake prop that basically I think I just need to see how they're doing. So I'll probably put strawberry shake on my list, and then yeah, we'll see. I could chop and prop that and then get rid of the lower portion of the plant. That also might be what I do. I don't know. I'm still gonna put it on the list though. I need to think through this. Because again, part of this whole thing too is like, I don't need a bunch of them, and I don't need a bunch of scraggly ones. So we will see. I do have the mother plant that is on a clear moss pole, so we'll see how that one's doing and make a decision. And while I have you flipped around, this is easier too, but here is that massive Florida green on a 6-foot pole. It's growing, it's maturing like as it gets taller, but it just, you guys, I don't love it. Like, look, it's almost as if there's no plant on that pole because it's so bare because of the fact that these petioles go so far out, and then the internode spacing. Putting it on a pole did not help with the internode spacing or anything. So it did what I wanted it to do, but I don't love it anymore, you guys. I really don't. And I don't like this moss pole, and I don't want to take up so much space with it. So this guy is going. And then maybe my Epiprenum albo, the mature one, will have so much more room, and I'll be able to actually see it so much better. So I am excited about that. I'm gonna keep my variegated Bertonier Hoya up there too. All right, you guys, we're doing good. We've got 13 plants / varieties on the list so far. It's kind of a tight squeeze by the living room window, so I'm just gonna hold you and we will go through them. So here is the window. I am going to start it off by saying I'm not getting rid of any Hoyas up here. I have always been really happy with my Hoyas. So let's start over here. This is the Epiprenum elbow, the mature one I told you about. I'm going to keep this, and I can always propagate from it if I want, but it is love and life, so I'm going to keep it. That's one that I actually put in the effort to pot into a big pot and put it on a pole. So, although the pole could get extended. Next up to that, we have my Philodendron Majestic. I am keeping this. I did propagate it though, and I have a few cuttings that eventually I will, when this thing needs to be sized up, I'll pot them all together. But I want to make sure I can do better with that plant because you can't even really see it behind my Hoyas. I think I need to swap those two Hoyas so that they don't run into the pool. Up next, we have some moss poles that I don't like. So this is where I have to decide if I like the plant and the pole. I don't like the pole, but this plant is, I believe, what is she? She is Splendid. Looks like a Splendid. The issue is I love the Philodendron Splendid. I have a lot of Philodendron Splendids. The issue is, look. So it's up there, and then it actually goes down here to like here. So you guys, that's ridiculous. Like, it's been neglected to the point where I have not even, it's actually pretty crazy, and it's just not great. I don't love it. I was excited to finally have, I think there's 2 plants in the pot. I was excited and hopeful that maybe that this would be like a fully grown pot of it. But again, I hate those moss poles. I don't like how they look. And it didn't end up growing that way. And it's scraggly looking. I have the mother plant and another Splendid. So I have 2 Splendids in the plant room. And then I took so many cuttings of the Splendid. I think, just get rid of the Splendid in here. I think it's time that I hate looking at it. So that one is on the list of getting rid of. And then this one I think will also be going on the list. Look how scraggly. Again, this situation, I don't love it. I like the plant. This is the Philodendron Mayoi. I love it. At one point I had this leaf shape, but they were huge. But again, so scraggly, just not growing the way I like it, and I don't have space. If I had space, I would get more big leaves, but I don't. I just don't have a good spot for it. So that one is gonna go on the list. And then next to that is my Philodendron Glorious mother plant. I have taken a lot of cuttings that are propping of this plant, but I am gonna keep the mother plant. I just gotta see, it's on one of these poles I don't like. So I need to not only restake it with a new pole, I need to see if it broke at the base over there, because it is like quite literally totally folded over. But it's exciting that these leaves have actually sized up for me. So I am gonna keep my Glorious. I just really gotta clear it up. And maybe once I get rid of these 2 plants, I'll prioritize the Glorious right here. And then next to that, I have one of many Philodendron Pink Princesses. At one point I was so excited to have such a full pot. Look at this. These babies. It's just like practically reverted, and they're not going on a pole or anything. I don't like this. And honestly, I really don't love the grow pattern enough. Like, yes, it put out a leaf there, but I don't love it enough. So Pink Princess is gonna go. And then I'm sad to say my Florida Ghost is gonna go. All the bottom leaves are gone, so that's fun. And then up here where we do have leaves, you guys can see, it's doing great. It's flourishing. It's putting out a bunch of leaves. And mine, I will say, would stay kind of like white minty for a while. But I'm kind of sick of the leaf shape, and I hate this long petiole situation. It makes it really hard to find a good spot for it. Looks like even the new growth is gonna be smaller. So yeah, she's gonna go. And then I have my philodendron lemon lime tucked in a corner here. I actually love it. I don't know why. I've always loved this philodendron. It has been such a ride or die, but look at how like dense the leaves are. It thinned out a little bit on the bottom from like, I've had this plant since literally 2020. It's thinned out a little bit, but it's just such a good grower and so dense that I actually think I'm keeping that one. I love it. And so when I clear space, I'm excited for that one to have more attention as well. Just kind of right in front of me, I'm keeping my philodendron, is it Goldie Eye? Or, I mean, I think it's technically a thaumatophyllum, but it's labeled all kinds of ways. Here's one of my strappy plants that I want to be more successful with. I think it's got a good spot, but it needs a light. So I need to put a light there. Like, come on, Kelly, get it together. My string of hearts, my variegated string of hearts, is going to pass the audit right now, but it might not pass the second audit. A lot of my string of things I'm really just not in love with. They're kind of pain in my butt. But this one, it minds its own business. So as of right now, I'm gonna keep my variegated string of hearts. And then we've got these. I think I need to put, well, I guess it depends if I put a light there. Otherwise, my Synapsis Silver Splash needs to move. It needs to move. Like, it needs more light. It's been growing and it gets light from the cabinet, and then during different times of the year, it does get light from the window. But I love Synapsis and I love this one. I want it to thrive. So we're keeping it, and I need to do better at taking care of it. And I am also keeping my, oh no, why am I blanking? Okay, I figured it out. It was a Siltepecana. Monstera Siltepecana is staying. I just need to chop and prop, and I don't know, it's been sizing up. It loves getting that light. So I don't know if I'm gonna move it, but this is an issue. So I need to figure that out. Maybe when I clear space, it'll go over here. Maybe. Oh, I almost forgot about this cabinet. This guy I am going to keep. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, honestly. But obviously it dropped all its bare leaves. I'm gonna do a full chop back and start it over, and then I'm going to prop it. And yeah, I'm gonna keep it because it is a variegated variety. I have the non-variegated variety, but I really love this one. Again, another strappy anthurium, keeping that. This alocasia I'm going to keep for now. The amount of times that it's died back and come back has been pretty crazy, but for now I will keep it, and then I'll reconsider maybe in the second audit. The clouds came in. It's kind of looking dark, like it might rain or snow, but it's only 3 o'clock. That's weird. So let's see, what did we say? The Splendid, the Mayoi, the Pink Princess, the Florida Ghost, I think I already had on here. I think that's all we said that we're gonna get rid of. So yeah, not too bad. Not a lot, but it will feel good to clear out some of these scraggly plants that we literally look at every day in the living room, and to just have more space for the nicer looking ones. All right, you guys, we're getting through there. You might think that I'm crazy, but I think I have 2 Monstera deliciosas, and I know I cut this one to propagate because it was growing weird. I might get rid of it. I love Monstera Deliciosa. I love how they look, but I love when they are big. You know what I mean? So I don't really love them when they're small. And this one I'd say is more on the medium side because it's definitely got like a good amount of fenestrations. But I'm just picturing if I have a Monstera Deliciosa, it's just like a beautiful statement one. Like, really gives me jungle vibes. It's a mature one. I buy it where it's already pre-grown and it has like a really nice spot in our apartment or a house or something. That's what I'm picturing. Dino's mom had the biggest Monstera I have truthfully ever seen, like in pictures or real life. And it was just in the best place ever in their old house. It was just like so beautiful. I've posted pictures of the leaves before, but that is what I picture when I think of a Monstera Deliciosa and wanting one. This one doesn't really do it for me. And it's kind of nice. It kind of like grows over this grow light, which is kind of nice. But I don't think I love it enough to make space for it. And that might be one that is on a wish list of mine where I get a mature one. So unfortunately, it's gonna go on the list. And I think I have a few other small ones. Again, just not growing how I'd like them to grow. I think they're all on the list. It's kind of hard to tell, but I have my Philodendron squamiferum right here. It is on the coco coir pole in right next to this grow light. This one I actually, you guys are thinking I'm crazy because right now it's outgrown its pole and it's doing this. I am going to keep it. It is one of my favorite plants. I love the petioles. I know it's got that growth pattern that I don't like where the petioles stick out really far. I don't love that, but I have like 2 or 3 babies at the base of my big mother plant. And I think once this has a little bit more space, it'll look really good. So I am gonna keep my squamiferum. You guys can kind of see this Syngonium Galaxy, Panda Galaxy. I like it and I like the variegation, but it's growing kind of wonky for me. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna chop and prop and start over, or I mean, I think it just needs some TLC. So I think I'm going to keep it. Unfortunately, I did say technically no anthurium stumps. This one hurts. This one's tough. I think this is the, Anthurium waterburyanum. This one is rough because it was big, it was beautiful, and at one point I was obsessed with this plant. I also have or had, I don't know actually, sadly. I don't think I do anymore. An Anthurium warocquianum waterburyanum cross hybrid. Yeah, I love this plant. I actually thought that maybe it would come back. I did have a leaf like not long ago, but even when it has a leaf, it's a 1-leaf wonder. And I'm not here for the 1-leaf wonders this year. So this one actually pains me. This is one where I'm like, I spent the money on it. It was a wish lister, an anthurium, like it'll come back. But I really have to just be realistic and prioritize. There's a gnat flying out of here too, which just says enough. So unfortunately, Anthurium waterburyanum. Ugh. That's what it feels like. We are gonna keep, you can barely see me, but we are keeping the tortum. She's actually one of my favorites right now. And, oh no. Again, what even is this one again? Another 1-leaf wonder. I will say it does have a couple stems. Anthurium corallinum. Why did I have to get into anthuriums last year? That sucks because of everything that happened. Like, If it was literally 2025 that I was getting into anthuriums, I think these all would have stayed beautiful and thriving. Dang, that sucks. So this is the Anthurium corallinum. She's not super rare and not super expensive, so I know I can get it again. That's the upside. But yeah, I think what I might do, because other people are probably, I think it'd mean a lot more to other people if I not throw away stumps, but I can just offer free stumps again on like Facebook and Marketplace, and let other people try to bring it back. It's a project. The good thing is that most of them I never took out of their original pot, so like even though they're stumps, I know what they are, so that'll help. And I don't know, maybe someone else will appreciate it and bring it back. I just think I need to not have stumps and one leaf wonders. So we shall see. I'm gonna take pictures of things and like list them and stuff. I hate doing that. And coordinating pickup, oh my God, I hate it. That's why I'm really hoping that I do have the motivation to actually do that, because I think people would appreciate it. But the coordinating pickups and packaging things, all that is really inconvenient with like an apartment. So we'll see. I'm really gonna do my best. Up next, we have my variegated money tree. She's not so variegated. This one, you guys, has kind of been a pain for me. While I love that it's kind of like a bonsai, I have a money tree and I love the like stems that look like a trunk. Love those. This one is that, but it's like really skinny. I don't feel like I need two, and I actually really like my other money tree. And this one, the thing about it is that I get sad looking at it because it was supposed to be variegated. It was variegated at one point. I think I've had a YouTube video posting of when I had gotten it, but when I got it, I thought it was going to be more variegated than it is, unfortunately. And I don't know. I mean, it is, you guys, it's actually really cute in this pot, and like, it's actually healthy and doing good. I don't love it enough. I think it has to go on the list. Obviously, I'm gonna keep my ties. I think I'm gonna grab my phone to show you guys the rest because we're getting into a tight squeeze. So over here, I'm going to keep this Epi marble because it's finally growing for me. If this was a year ago, I would have thrown this because it wasn't growing, but it is so white. I am going to keep her. The Adansonii mint did die, so that is gone. This is my other philodendron Yepii. Do you guys see the problem? This is why I don't know what I want to do, because the leaves on this one are maturing, but this plant matures pretty quickly. Like, I mean, I got this plant and it was kind of like the other one. So the leaves mature quickly, but I never put it on a pole, so it is scraggly. We've got the really long petioles, and I don't know. You guys, clearly this is not great. So I can't decide if I keep this big one and completely chop it back and start over and put it in a pot with a real pole, or if I just keep the baby one. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. And then back here we have my variegated philodendron domesticum. I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to put on a real pole, and then I might chop and prop it. So yeah, we did lose one scraggler. I do have a Monstera Peru back there. I actually really like the Monstera Peru variety, but it is just not, it's tucked behind everything, you guys. Like, I don't know, it's not full and lush like I would have loved it to be, and truthfully I don't even know if it's still growing. So I think I'm going to let her go, and then I'll get her again in the future. And then we have some, God, these were originally like a cream splash, philodendron cream splash, but then they started throwing out like all white variegated leaves. Now these are so flimsy, they are literally desperately needing water. But that one right there goes all the way down there, so it could use a chop. And then I have that one, and I don't feel like I need two. So I think I'm going to combine the pots and keep them. I think that's what I'll do. And then right here, we've got my El Choco Red. It grows funky and ugly, and it's on an ugly moss pole, but I am going to keep it. I just haven't decided if I'm gonna go through the work of repotting it on the clear moss pole, but I'm gonna keep it. So I don't have to know right now. However, it does have spider mites now, which makes me so sad because it avoided spider mites for the longest time. But we've got a new leaf there and a new leaf there. So I definitely gotta give it some TLC. And then we have my Florida Beauty, which I think was one of the most beautiful Florida Beauties ever until I chopped it, and now it just gives me all lime green leaves. So I don't know, I think I might keep it for now, but I personally, I want that. I don't want that. So we will see what I do. That's kind of why I chop and propped it and have made little baby versions of it. So we'll see. Honestly, I might actually just completely chop it up and start over and then prop the babies so that I can have hopefully a plant that is all of that marble variation versus the lime green. And then we've got these guys. Oh, my Philadelphia Burl Marks Fantasies put out a new leaf. Look how big it is. This one I think I'm going to keep because I love the big leaves. If you guys don't know, I think it's Steve's Leaves where I got this, and they have been giving, when you buy a Burl Marks Fantasy, you get these like massive leaf ones. I don't know if they still do that, but yeah, so I've got like huge leaves on this one, and I kind of like to keep it just as like a statement, but I've chopped it so many times, and this is it regrowing from a latest chop. I think I'm gonna keep it, and I would love to see it size up more. So I think that one needs to go on a real moss pole. And then next to that, I'm keeping my OGS Stiletto, even though I got a really big one from Forest, because this grows fast and I really actually love how it looks on this pole. And then we have my Mame Silver. I'm not gonna get rid of this one yet, like in this audit, but it might be a goner in the next one. I just kind of want to, because I kind of just want to see like see that growth point grow out and like put out a beautiful new leaf. But this thing is also usually a spider mite magnet, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see. We will see. Honestly, if it's in a beautiful pot, if I can find a really good spot for it after clearing stuff, then maybe I'll keep it if I can actually have it on display in a really pretty way. And then I had chopped my Syngonium Mojito all the way back, and then it was doing good as of the last video, putting out a bunch of new leaves, and then I went a little too long without watering and it dropped all of them. So here's the question. Do I keep it? Because again, hate these moss poles, and it would have literally no plants on it. The only thing that might be an exception in this instance is that it is quite literally in the corner out of the way, and I have seen the Syngonium Mojito grow like crazy all the way up it, so I know it can do it, and it can do it pretty fast. So TBD on the first audit. We'll see if it survives the second audit, but I think for now I'm going to keep it, but I am going to literally chop it as far back as I can. All right, I just turned around. Here's another Monstera Deliciosa, you guys. Look at how it's growing. Just looks so bad. So I think I'm going to give that one away. And then honestly, I don't know what to do about this one, you guys. Look. Massive moss pole. Look how ugly that is, just leaning against the table. I hate it, but I have such a bushy plant down here like I wanted. The issue is that they have like spider mite damage, and it's growing partially over there, and it is sizing leaves up right there, but you guys, I don't love it enough to be patient for it to go all the way up this pole and then finding a spot for it. I don't know. I think I might put it on the list, as crazy as that is. I have the variegated version, so especially if I can like get the variegated version to throw out some variegated leaves, then I don't know if I even really want this one. I don't remember the official name, but it's that horsehead philodendron. Is it bipennifolia? I think it's bipennifolia. And then next to that, we have an esqueleto from my mother plant esqueleto. I am going to give this one away. It has spider mites, but I'm going to give it away if somebody does want it. Otherwise, I think I might throw it. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna throw it. People can get esqueletos pretty easily now. But yeah, all the esqueletos on here, like the props and the mini plant, I'm going to toss. I think I'm going to just toss all of the props right here because they all got spider mites at one point. This is the one pink princess. Okay, no, second. I'm keeping 2 pink princesses. I am keeping this one and the one in my Rudsta wide cabinet in the plant room, because the Rudsta wide cabinet one is my OG one that's doing really well actually. This one I'm keeping because it is just so beautiful and different than my other ones. It's got more of the marbling, but all the other pink princesses I'm getting rid of because I'm over it. And then we can go down here. So here we have the Monstera aurea. This was from a second chance plant. I thought it was something else. I kind of actually had hoped that it was a Monstera Bromarx Flame. I already have a Monstera aurea. It's not doing too great. And this thing is just a reverted aurea, so I'm getting rid of that. And then I have a Syngonium elbow back there. This is my OG mother plant. It is not doing well. Do you guys see all these brown spots? I think it's time. I have chopped and propped from this plant so much because look at that variegation. I think it might be time to say goodbye to her because I have a full elbow Syngonium and it is stunning and doing so good that I think I want to prioritize. So I think it's time to let her go. And then we have a philodendron ring of fire. I don't know why I wanted to say something else. I think I'm going to keep this one for now because it's got beautiful variegation and it's actually growing normal. My other philodendron ring of fire, my OG one, is growing so wonky. That one I need to make a decision about, but I'm going to keep this ring of fire. It does have a lot of extraflora nectaries, like damage, but it doesn't really bother me a whole lot. So I am keeping her, and I'm keeping my absolutely stunning Aglaonema. Now I'm just like on the ground, kind of comfy, but I know I have to keep going. Ugh, this is gonna be such a long video. If you're with me still, you're a real one. But now we need to go to the table, go to that side, and then probably the bedroom. Here's the table. I'm getting rid of the Florida red stem cuttings. I am gonna keep this guy. This Big Bill, I think, Anthurium was actually on the apothecary over there, and I just had to make space for more mugs, so I gotta find a good spot for them. Here you go. See, more props of my elbow Syngonium. I am going to pot that up. We'll see if I do another big bushy pot. Then I have like super dusty philodendron 69686s. I think I'm just gonna get rid of because my mother plant is still growing really strong. I have literally just so many in here, so getting rid of all that. And then I'm going to keep my variegated giganteum, but I need to figure out what I'm gonna do for that. I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'm not changing anything here. Oh, God, I really need to like clean. These are my newer Hoyas. I'm keeping all that, keeping my jungle boogie, but I want to move it somewhere. So this whole corner is not changing with plants. In the bedroom, master bedroom, none of this is gonna change. The only thing that might change, I think I'm gonna chop my Monstera mint or do something to bring that variegation back. But the only thing that might change is my strawberry shake. I think when I have more time, I'm going to take a better look at it, see how it's doing, because this is my mother plant, and there's a plant down there. We do have a plant down there. So if this is good, I'm definitely going to get rid of the one that's on the IKEA Visto shelf because I don't need a bunch of them. This one I've been propping a lot from. So I need to just take a look when I have some more time and lighting. But yeah, this stuff isn't going to change. The only thing is I might like repot and chop and do some, you know, basic maintenance stuff will change. I do have my, what should be a philodendron Rio here, but it just hasn't really loved me in a long time, and it's not really Rioing like it should. So that one I'm going to think about. I would like it to be more of a Rio. It used to be getting just like the best lighting here, and it still wasn't really doing too hot. Like, it is growing, but this is what I get. So I don't know, we'll see. I might like take cuttings of this all the way down to the stump and then see if it regrows, or propagate them and just start a new one. So we'll see. You guys, here we go. Here we go. Oh, we got some fungus gnats in here. So this is my Regali crystallinum. This thing has not put out a leaf in so long. That one just lost its leaf. So, you know, we'll see. This one does have one leaf, so I'm keeping that one, but I don't know. I should not have stumps. I can't decide on those ones just because they are kind of like tucked out of the way. I mean, they are nice for cabinets, but those ones are really hard for me to want to let go. I really should, but we will see. And then obviously I'm keeping my props there, keeping everything else. My forgetti, keeping that. I just kind of need to rearrange. Not much in here that I really want to get rid of. Same with up here. So not much to report for this cabinet. In my Millsbo wide under the TV, my Regali, my Anthurium Regali, Regal Shield, whatever, only ever puts out one leaf at a time. And honestly, I'm kind of over it. I'm so over it. So that one's actually gonna go on the list. My silver blush is fine for now. No, you guys, it's going on the list. Same thing. Look at that. Just always a one leaf wonder. So that one is going on the list, those two anthuriums. My Monstera Peru, I know you guys, there's no leaves, but I just chopped it back, and I do have a growth point down there that's kind of activated. This one I just really haven't given the time of day, so I'm gonna keep it even though it doesn't have any leaves, and I'm gonna put it on a clear moss pole, and I might actually chop it back even farther. We'll see, but I'm excited because I'm gonna get rid of my non-variegated Monstera Peru, so I am gonna keep my variegated one. Keeping my Syngonium scrambled eggs, keeping those two guys. I got rid of finally the Cirsus mirabilis pot that was there. It was just a stump. I threw it away. It was so gross. And then we have my Cebu Blue cuttings that I took of my mother plant when it was struggling. But now my mother plant has come back. So I think I might give these guys away. This one looks like it's kind of dying. I think I might just toss it. For reference, here's the mother plant. So it had totally died back, and I totally chopped it back, and it's doing great now. So that's the master bedroom. There's not a whole lot in here that I think I'm gonna audit and get rid of because I normally prioritize plants that I really like in here, and I've kind of slowly been doing that already. So I didn't really expect that there would be a whole lot for me to get rid of and change up, but definitely a lot of things need some TLC. All right, you guys, we're almost done. And actually the plant room is not gonna take as much time as I thought it would, but the sun's going down, so this is like perfect timing. Thanks for sticking with me because I know my last video and this video are long, but it's gotta be done. So up first, in here in the plant room, on my shelf here, I have a string of turtles and a variegated string of pearls. You guys, they are scraggly, and at one point Oh my god, the sun's coming in. At one point, these were like beautiful. My string of turtles, if you guys can recall, if you watch previous videos, was just beautifully falling down in there. And then I had just the most lush string of pearls with like white pearls and everything. But now they are all like half brown and dead, half healthy. And I just hate looking at them. I hate cleaning up after them because when these leaves fall, they are just the most obnoxious things to clean up. I really wanted to be a string of things plant parent, and I just don't think it's for me, truthfully. I love the string of hearts, the variegated one, but even then, like, those go through like ebb and flows of looking good and then dying. Right now, my string of hearts is looking good enough to keep, but yeah, I think that'll also be a down the road kind of a plant, but they're honestly so messy that they're obnoxious to me. So I am going to honestly throw away both my string of turtles and my variegated string of pearls. Part of that too is, again, they're half dead. That's why I'm throwing them away. But also, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to like just even grabbing the plant, so many of those leaves fall off. I am not dealing with giving them to somebody, you know. A couple other things that you guys might be a little surprised about. I decided the baby Birkin is gonna go. While she's cute and I don't know, has a little spot and is on the riser, I think it looks cute, but I don't love it enough. I really don't. And we know that these plants don't get the most light that they really should. So I think I'd rather simplify and get rid of my little baby Birkin. And also my Synapsis Silver Hero. We talked a lot about this one in my last video. Now that Casa Farms has come out with like full pots of these things, and also they're a lot more accessible. I got this as a cutting when they first hit the craze and people were finding out about them, and I actually got it for such a reasonable price. I don't know. It's on my list, but I might chop it all the way back and regrow it. We will see. Depending on how much space I have in cabinets, I might pop it. It started off in a cabinet. It was doing fantastic. I might pop it back into a cabinet. We'll see. But it's taking up a lot of real estate. It's in a big pot. It looks pretty, but everything is pretty about it except for the actual plant, because look, it's just like bare vines. So I'm really tempted to toss it, but it's so hard because I love that Synapsis. So I gotta find a way to figure that one out and make it work. This is actually perfect timing because you guys can see they get that setting sun. And this is only in the winter. Only in the winter does this area get the setting sun. In the summer, the sun is too high up in the sky and they just don't get sunlight. And we have a really big tree in front of our window here because they're getting light from the balcony because we have 2 patio doors in our apartment. So they're getting light from the balcony patio door, not from the actual window. Oh my god, it's so pretty in here right now, you guys. It's lighting up. I just have to. Look at it. It's just all lit up. You guys, I'm sorry. I love the setting sun in this room. This is the best time, golden hour, to be in here. So this is perfect. Anyways, they're getting light. They're getting light. Only get light in the winter, but they're not thriving. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Synapsis Silver Hero is on my list, TBD. Now let's go over here. Just want to make sure I write these down. So what's kind of nice is in this detolf, I'm actually not getting rid of anything. I have some props and I have like one of each like newer Hoyas that I really, really love. My beautiful Alocasia Black Velvet. So nothing is gonna go away in there. The only thing I'm going to get rid of is a Hoya fungi propagation that I think, yeah, it's in soil now. So I'll just say it's a little plant because it is nonstop flowering. It has a huge flower in there right now. My mother plant, you guys have seen, my Hoya fungii literally is a monster. So when I chop that, it's because it's overgrowing areas. So I am going to get rid of that prop, and I think my sister wanted it at one point, so I'm going to definitely give that to her if she wants it. But that's the only thing coming out of that cabinet, which is exciting. As for getting rid of things, things are going to be shifted and moved around, but yes, you know what I mean. You cannot tell, I have a little snake plant in this back corner here. I'm not even going to attempt to grab it because of all these plants right here. That snake plant is going. It was one of my very first plants, you guys. And this is where I try to not be overly sentimental about the plants, because while it was one of my first plants, it's also one of my most neglected plants. You guys know how snake plants are. They kind of, if they're not thriving, they're just like slowly dying. And that's kind of what the situation has been. It is time for me to let her go because I don't even love her. I'm sorry. Again, it was in the beginning of my plant collecting when I was like, oh my God, a snake plant. I'm just gonna get any plant that I see. And that's just not good. You know, I wanna love the plants that I have. Next to that, we have the Philodendron esmeraldense. I don't remember exactly. It was one of those like mystery plants like a year or two ago. This is the one that has the sun stressing, you guys. See, I don't like looking at it. I don't like looking at it. And it was never one that I intentionally bought, that I like sought out and wanted. It was a mystery plant from the mystery grab bags at Lost in the Forest. I like it. I have looked up mature versions of that plant and I do like it, but I don't think I need it right now. I think it's one to get later on when I could, again, put it on a pole, grow it big. Fantastic. But right now, I don't need it. And then kind of next to that, right here, is the Florida Ghost Mint that is not really mint anymore. It's just green. So that one is growing all weird. Again, I'm not gonna grab anything because they will fall over. I am gonna keep my Red Anderson. We talked a lot about that in the last video too. I'm going to keep the Red Anderson, but I need to do something about it. I think I need to chop it and put on a pole. And then I do really like the Red Anderson, so I could see myself propagating that and then having another baby or putting it in the pot with like the mother plant, you know what I mean? So we're keeping Red Anderson. Guys, that afternoon light hitting these plants, it's one of my absolute favorite things. So moving on over, we're keeping my Hoya here. We're keeping this like white wizard that is literally all white. I made the executive decision. I am getting rid of all of my Amidriums. They're really making me mad, you guys. I would, in the future, see myself getting like a nice, beautiful, mature, fully grown Amidrium, one that's already grown out, and having that as like a statement plant in like a house or something. But I am so sick of these runners. So sick of them. And you know what? I don't like looking at them. And a plant is not cute if all it does is have a bunch of string runners. So all Amidriums are going, which is so sad to say. My Amidrium Spider-Man, that was definitely one in 2020 that was like, oh my God, the moment this plant drop happens, gotta get it. Everyone wanted it. I wanted it. It was amazing. And when I bought it, it had a lot of leaves on it. It barely put out any new leaves. You guys saw the runner in my last video. It was ridiculous. And then also my Amidrium Silver, which sucks. I love the silver foliage. It's beautiful. I had 2 at one point, all runners, and I am over it. So all Amidriums are going on the list. Do you guys see all the way up there? See that bare stem? That is the Syngonium macrophyllum. Honestly, it is the same as the Syngonium chiapense. It's just a little bit narrow, like narrower of a leaf. The chiapense is stunning. It is wide, it's matte, it's got this beautiful like pattern to the veining of the leaves. The macrophyllum is just not as nearly as pretty. I just don't love it, and it's too similar, and it will not tolerate you missing a watering day. Like, it really won't. It drops so many leaves. So it dropped a lot of the leaves on the bottom, and honestly, I'm over it. So Syngonium macrophyllum. I'm keeping my ride or die pothos. Look at her just glowing. And then I have some tough decisions about the next few. So the hard decisions for these ones, we have a Syngonium, no, I'm lying, a Scindapsus trubii moonlight. I like this plant. And this one was a really beautiful full pot. That was like a Costa Farms pot. But something, I don't remember what, maybe it was the drought period, but something happened to it and it just declined. And while it's still growing now, I don't think I'm in love. I'm not in love. I like the plant, but it's one that I feel I have outgrown from my plant craze time period. You know what I mean? So I think I'm not gonna keep my Syngonium trubii moonlight anymore, unfortunately. And then we have, I said Syngonium again. Oh my God, you guys, lately that has just been the issue, is Scindapsus and Syngonium getting mixed up. Scindapsus trubii moonlight on the list. My Syngonium mojito, this is a very outgrown, wonky mojito. This was a bunch of cuttings from my mother plant on that 6-foot moss pole that I then rooted and potted up together. That's kind of why I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the mother plant. However, when you do trellis a Syngonium, because they vine, the leaf shape as it evolves just gets so cool. And the mojito is so cool, you guys. It is such a cool plant. I love the pattern and texture. It has actual texture to it. So I can't decide if I'm going to keep this because there are 3 plants in this pot. And what I did with my Syngonium elbow is I propped it a ton, and then I made a massive bush of the Syngonium elbow, and I love it. So I kind of was going for the same vibe here, but this one has vined a little bit more, and I don't have as many props in here. So I think for now I'm going to leave it, but if I do a second audit, I don't know if it would survive that. So we'll see. It kind of depends what my mother plant does. I'm going to keep the Standeliana, Monstera Standeliana, but it needs TLC. And then I forgot, you guys, and this is also why I just need to let the other one go. I forgot that I have a Philodendron gloriosum in here. This is my OG gloriosum from like 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. This is my OG. It is in a crawling pot. You can't really see because it's angled this way. Why don't I make this easier for us? Okay, a little bit better angle, but you can't see. It's in a crawling pot. I'm not gonna move it because I have a crystal right here. But this is my OG. It is putting out new leaves. It gets a little bit of sunlight. It gets a lot of light from my not Stanley. I'm tired, you guys. My Sanzi grow bulb right here, but it doesn't get nearly as much as it should get. So, but it's doing okay. And this one looks good. It's growing as it should. It's crawling, and I have leaves, but it did drop a lot of the leaves that it used to have. But I think since I'm gonna get rid of my big Philodendron gloriosum, I'm going to keep this one. If it passes a second audit, I do not know. But yeah, it's doing pretty good. We have a little bit of spider mites. I need to get it away from my tie so that my tie doesn't get any spider mites. Then we have this cabinet. Sorry for the poor lighting. The sun is literally going down, so I'm going quick. But we have this Detolf. I told you I found mealybugs. I know for a fact that Hoya Curtsii is going in the garbage because it has root mealies, and I believe it did spread to the Hoya Rosita. If it didn't, I'm gonna keep the Rosita, or I'm going to propagate it because I really love the Hoya Rosita. It's beautiful. So I think I'm gonna take cuttings of it, but any of those plants that have root mealies are going in the garbage, and I hate saying that, but root mealies are such a pain. I am not dealing with it. Mealy bugs in general I'm not dealing with. Unfortunately, I found a mealy bug on one of my new Hoyas. It sucks so much. I'm trying to remember which one. Not the Inflata. not the Nuensis, not the Rotunda, whatever that one is. Yeah, you guys, I'm gonna be doing pest treatment, and I'll probably do a video of like my pest day, and so you guys will see. But oh my god, I was so pissed when I found a mealybug. I only found one, but who knows what's in that pot, you know. Anyways, I know 2 to 3 plants in here have mealies. They are going in the garbage. I really hope my Calliciphylla doesn't, because it is the most stunning. You guys, come on. Oh, just literally so beautiful. That is my OG Calliciphylla from 2020. However, I do have a hanging pot, and it is growing new leaves, and it is doing well, so it is not the end all be all. And yeah, but this one, this Calliciphylla Hoya, literally just nonstop puts out flowers. It's so pretty. It was my first ever Hoya to flower for me, but because of that, it wouldn't put out leaves. So it actually almost made my garbage list a long time ago. And then down here we have, these are propagations. It will depend on if these have mealybugs or not if I keep them. I have a bunch of strawberry shake props in there. I don't need more strawberry shakes. If I like one that has good variegation, I might keep it because I'm gonna have a lot of free space now, but we'll see. I do kind of hope my Syngonium aurea doesn't have mealybugs, because I used to have a mother plant, but it kept getting spider mites. It was a magnet, and then I chop and propped it. So I'm hoping it doesn't have mealies, but who knows. And then again, same thing, Mame Silver, beautiful plant, hoping it doesn't have mealies, but if it does, I hate to say it, it's going in the garbage. All these plants, I'm not changing. They're all good. We can talk about those ones quick. All right, I'm gonna go right here actually and try and show you guys this stuff before the sun is down completely. Obviously, Ty's not going anywhere. These floor plants, not going anywhere. Unfortunately, oh, she's so cute. I actually talked to Dino. I'm gonna find a new spot for these plants so that we can put the blanket all along here so that the kitties can just nap together and look out the window, because they are obsessed with this spot ever since we put this blanket here, which has a tuxedo kitty like Willow. But yeah, so that's actually gonna be coming up here soon as a change. I'm keeping my Adansonii variegated one, the Archipelago. I gotta try and figure it out though. I'm keeping most of these except this turtle cactus because he's old, and honestly, truthfully, I think it's dead. I think it's just been sitting there dead. And then I think one of the kitties killed Dino's cactus, which is really sad, but I don't know. It also just might not be good. I really don't know. So this cactus is going to be going. I've never propagated a cactus before, so if you have any ideas, let me know, because I've never done that. And if you think that this is definitely doable, please let me know, because Dina was really bummed about that. But yeah, the rest of these, I just gotta find a new home for. And then yeah, turtle cactus is going. Up here, not a whole lot to report. Yeah, not a whole lot to really report. 69686. We talked about that in the last video. It's kind of just doing its thing. We'll see. But that pink princess is gonna go. I hate it. Look at it. It's so scraggly. The babies are so scraggly. It is, that one's gone. And then behind that, remember I told you guys about my money tree? She's struggling a little, but she's cute. So that's why I'm getting rid of the baby one, because I really like this one. I keep talking about my Syngonium elbow bush. Here she is. She's so cute. None of these are changing. Like, I'm not gonna get rid of my white knight. Obviously not gonna get rid of my Pothos Mandula. However, she is going away. My Midrium Silver. Like, just makes me so sad, but like, who likes that? It was nothing but staked up, and it was just runners. And trust me, I tried putting it on a real pole, like a Coco Coir pole. The Imidrium Spider-Man was on a Coco Coir pole. I've had other Imidriums on actual poles, and they still just do runners, and they suck. So again, unless you got some magic growing tips, let me know, but it's not it for me right now. So yeah, Midrium Silver is going, which is sad. It's so pretty. All right, you guys, last but not least, the red stick cabinets. Nothing in that cabinet is gonna go. I love the Hartley philodendron too much to get rid of it, even though I have duplicates, but I'm gonna put these all in one pot together and put them on a moss pole, so it will condense it down to one. Obviously, not getting rid of the variegated Billy. These are all doing pretty good. The Stanleyana, I'm gonna keep for now. That may not make it to the next audit. We'll see, because it is just like one strand, but I'm okay with how this cabinet is right now. The Campbell Sportiatum has seen better days, but it is a beautiful plant, and I do want to see that one regrow. And then I think it's time to let go of the baby Milano Chrysum in the back, because it is just not going to grow and thrive in the way that it is set up. And I have the big one, so we're going to let that one go. I am going to let go of my dragon scale, although it's putting a new leaf out. Ugh, I don't know, you guys. We'll see. I did say in the last video I was going to put it in soil and see if it lives. I just don't know if I love it enough to do that. We will see. It looks like my Splendid, even though it is killing off a couple leaves, it's still growing. I think because it killed the bottom leaves, I think I'm going to chop it back, but I'm going to keep it. Keeping. That's my Splendid mother plant too. Like, I do have a lot of Splendid, you guys, so, but it's just one that I keep chopping and propping and cutting it back. This is one of my pink princesses that I am keeping. That is why I'm getting rid of all the scraggly ones, because this one is growing beautifully. And then we have a little Burrow Marks Fantasy. Another reason why I'm going to keep my OG mother plant and get rid of this one, because it's just, I mean, these ones are also kind of hard for me to size up, truthfully. Overall, we're going to get rid of the Burrow Marks Fantasy. We're going to potentially get rid of the Alocasia Dragon Scale. Who knows, unless I just put it in soil. And then we're definitely going to get rid of the Philodendron Milano Chrysum baby pot. There's like multiple in there too. All right, you guys, we did it. I'm ending it there. Thank you for sticking around if you did for this entire video. We have one page and another page. That's pretty good. And a handful of those are big plants that I think are actually gonna open up a lot of space for me to hopefully help with feeling less cluttered and hopefully just prioritizing the plants that I love. That as I go through and I actually pull the things and throw the things and I see where spaces open up will determine if I decide, like, you know what, I don't want any plants in this area anymore. You know, it'll really determine if I go crazy and get rid of anything else. If I do, obviously I'll record it, but I think what I'll do after I finally do this, I may or may not record me actually going through and pulling everything. It just is such a chore that it would be so much faster and probably more therapeutic if I don't record that. So if I don't record that, I will at least record an update of what's going on. And truthfully, maybe it's a plant tour, like an updated plant tour. I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. I'm also kind of in a rearranging mood, as you guys know that I tend to get in, but I gotta talk to Dino, see what that looks like. And it really all depends on how much space I have after purging and getting rid of a lot of these plants. I counted it up and there are 50 total plants that we are getting out of here. So, and some of those are like multiples, like on there I put all Limidriums, so that's not even just counting as one, that would be like 2. So yeah, 50, we'll see. We'll see if I do any more. We'll see if that is me easily being able to be like, I don't love that anymore. No, I just don't think I want that anymore. Once we get to a point where maybe I do a second audit, or when I'm actually pulling things and kind of further deciding, that's when it's gonna get probably even harder, because they're gonna be plants that I like but are just not thriving, or I just don't see myself really taking care of that well, or just don't have like a place for it to grow to its like fullest potential. So yeah, that'll be kind of tough. We will see how that goes. It'll be kind of weird seeing like potentially my entire detolf right here empty. I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, anyways, however this all goes down, I obviously will keep you guys updated. So make sure you guys subscribe if you have not yet. Follow along, because yeah, we're just doing plant stuff and I like to keep everybody updated on, what's going on with my plant collection. Make sure you guys leave any comments below if you guys got any questions. If you guys are doing a plant audit, let me know. I feel like a lot of people right now, could just be a New Year thing, or just a lot of people after 5 years being in the plant collecting hobby are really paring down collections and really doing a lot of introspection on what they really want with their plant collections. So I know I'm not the only one doing this. I'll be curious, let me know if you are also doing a plant audit and paring down your collection, or if you're just going, because I've been there, it's exciting, and I totally understand that as well. But comment below and let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll just see you guys in the next video. Bye!